Perfect. All right, so now I'm recording. So first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to share my screen and just go over 2 membership sites that I really like. And I think they would be awesome if they were combined. And I'll give you a little bit of feedback on what you could do with them. And then I'll get into the demo account and kind of show you what those sections are. So when you're building it out, if you want to kind of reproduce it or get an idea of what it looks like, you can do that. And then again, if you have any questions, feel free to do it in the chat as we go, or just unmute yourself and ask away. And if we go off on little tangents, that's okay. And well, it's kind of ideal actually. So I'm going to share my screen. Perfect. So I went over this dashboard in the original seminar of this one to kind of give you a framework of how it's done. I really like how Max Fitness built their main dashboard out and their thought process behind it. A couple of things that's behind it is certain members get access to every one of these pages. You do have to have a membership of some sort to even have access to this page specifically. And then you have to have like the 21-day challenge, 28-day challenge, 6-week challenge membership to have access to this button. So this is kind of locked down on the back end, right? And they do a great job with this by using it to give them additional information during the challenge, kind of using it as an onboard process as they go. So like this has all the stuff that they started with, and they put a button at the bottom here that just takes them to week 1. And this is much smaller than the getting started, but it kind of shows you where you can add downloads or different PDFs. And remember, our sites are FitHive in general, the website itself, mobile optimizes everything. So all of this should automatically be mobile optimized. So if they're accessing it on their phone, they can click here and then go from there and go to the next page and so on and so forth. The one thing that I recommend, and I'll show you what I would recommend doing because they do it amazingly. So a lot of people right now, especially with who knows what's going to happen when things get colder with COVID and everything else. A lot of people, I know Jeff has just started this, is building an on-demand library because you can use the program section of FitHive to give at-home programs, but if they don't work out every day, then it may not work out in terms of timing with that program, or they have to go back and kind of look around. So what a lot of people are doing is they're just locking behind the membership on a membership account and just calling it on demand, right? So Max Fitness is the way that they've done it. They've broken it down to the coaches, coaches based upon their workouts and what they're adding in. What's up, Bo? You can unmute yourself if you ever want to ask questions, or you can ask questions in the chat. But I'm just going over one dashboard membership site that I really like. I'll go over 3 of them here and then kind of show you what it looks like on the back end. But anyway, they've got it broken down into the coach. So if I wanted to do her workouts, they've kind of just put these videos, YouTube videos, in this one dashboard, which is pretty cool. I really like the way that they've set this up. However, if you're going to do an on-demand library, the gym that has done it the best, in my opinion, is Brickhouse. So same thing here. They've got fitness on demand. This is locked behind a membership site, so you have to be logged in and be a member to get access to it. But they just did their membership site strictly for on-demand stuff, right? So they've got all their body weight workouts, which they've been recording the whole time. And then they've got all their strength workouts with dumbbells. So if somebody didn't want to use the app to get access to the program, so they didn't want to go here and access, go to your programs, and then I'll just go to that home program. And then they didn't want to be, say they don't want to do this workout for the day, or they don't have enough time or whatever, they could go to the on-demand and be like, you know what, I'm at home, I don't want to go anywhere, I need a body weight workout. So they're going to access workouts. And then they're going to look through here. And the way they've got this set up is it just kind of gives them an idea of a real quick overview. You can add more to it. But if I wanted to do, I don't know, this 40-minute workout, that 600 rep challenge, I click play and I can watch the full length YouTube video. I can also increase it. They do a good job with production. They've got this kind of set up inside their gym with the clock in front. They also have the workout itself described up front. So if, as a consumer, if I look at this and I'm like, ooh, maybe I don't want to do this, then I can just go back and, you know, all right, I'm going to try, oh, I want to do a core finisher. Cool. I'm going to do this one. Yep, I like it. And then press play and then go from there. So this is a really good way use of the membership dashboard and creating an on-demand workout. And you can obviously have multiple sections and multiple things. And I'll show you what these icons are or what section it is on the back end here in a second. The next one, because I know somebody asked in the owners group about, what's the word I'm looking for here? About onboarding for new clients. And Awaken Athletics set up a really cool kind of leading up to the membership site. Let me get that pulled up here. There we go. So they've got a link embedded in every new client that gets signed up has a link inside of that welcome email, and they created a drip campaign that's attached to the membership and actually turned the automated new member email off. So that way they can kind of control what's coming out there. But this is one thing that they did is put up their welcome email. I think they're going to put a welcome video up here instead of this, but they've started out with here while they're kind of figuring that out. But then it literally just walks them through the instructions on how to set up the app, right? You know, because a lot of people miss that part of it. And it shows steps 1 through 6. Again, it is mobile optimized. I'll show you how it looks on the mobile just so you can see it. And then they've added these buttons at the bottom for next step or going back. So if they hit next step, it takes them here because the first thing they recorded this video. You can record your screen and kind of use some editing software to do this. But this is just how to enroll in the program because you actually have to enroll in the program and start it if you're doing online coaching. So they set that up and then they go to macros and meal plans. They did the same thing with the video. But here they also added affiliate links. So like if you click this and purchase this Omron body fat scanner, they're going to get a little bit of a commission for it, but they added that link there. They also added a custom form. So they do custom nutrition. So they added a form here if they want to have access to it. So if they wanted to, I'll just, right? So they just submitted. Now they know that this person wants some custom nutrition, but I can go into the next one. Shows the initial measurements, create the mobility. And then their last step, you can use an embedded here. They do some weird time zone things. So they're using Acuity, but you could use FitHive as well. But what happens is only, and you can set this up with a FitHive form, only when they schedule, I'll just tell him testing, that when they complete and schedule, and you can set this up to redirect in a form, it takes them to their client dashboard. And then once they get to the client dashboard, the member can obviously save it, but it requires them to set up that meeting. So if you are selling something online, you can have it redirect that way as well. So that's why they've got it set up. And then they're starting to use my Chrome isn't, I don't know what's rendered, not render, it's rendering weird over here. I'll have to, let's pull this up. There we go. So they've added this place where they can book with a coach at any given time. So they always have access to it. They're starting to add their stuff to this. If you have Alicia's content, another good thing with that is to set that up in the membership dashboard, because as Alicia's content comes out, that way you can really maximize everything that you've already used going forward as well. You can start to add that stuff here. So like this is the free download for the Crush Your Cravings, right? So every member that comes on, they'll have this huge list of downloads that they can also have access to. And then at the bottom of it, they're putting like this, the add-on stuff, so members can always get to it and or book something or learn more about it. So this is a pretty cool way to do it. It just depends on your thought process and what you need for your particular business. Now on the back end, what all these little icons and everything are. So I'm just going to add a page and client that you can call it anything you want. You don't have to do this part, but this is a demo account and I've used it about 1 million times. So I'm just gonna, so I can keep track of it. But those icons, and that's the same thing with like these right here, as well as this stuff, because these are just pictures, right, of the YouTube video. And that section is icon content. Doesn't look anywhere right out of the gate exactly like it, but you take out the icon, you add your image. So I'm just going to add an image. Sure. Take out, or you can add a button 2 different ways. You can add a button via the normal content. Learn more. I'm just going to do a large button. Right. Biggest key here from the original seminar is you just got to make sure that you're using the same size picture. Otherwise, it'll put in different size pictures and it won't look correctly all the way across the board. Now you can also do this for like what they did like here, right? What they're doing there is this is or you could put something like this is VIP members only, right? I'm going to change the text color. Boom, makes it look better. And then you can add this button to whatever that next page is. Right, so that's how they've kind of got that set up. Now, the one thing you can do, because a lot of people are asking, how can I monetize this? A couple of things that you can do here, and I'll just use Max Fitness's. Let's say you want to bring leads in and give them some free content, right? So you want to make these first 3 modules free, and then you want to make the following modules for members only, right? What you can do is, I'm just going to add another one of these below. You know what? I'm going to do something here. Perfect, cool. I just wanted to make sure that I was doing it right, but I'm going to add above, and you can do just about anything, but I'm going to add a section here that's just going to be heading free content and you can make it look however you like, but just for quick purposes, I'm going to do this, right? And then I'm going to add below, and I'm going to add a cool little button, and this could be members only content. And then that button is going to be whatever membership you want to try to sell them. So I'm just going to sell them this one. Perfect. And then you can change the background. I'm a big fan of just black. But you need to change your button color. So I'm going to change this to maybe red. Cool. And again, you can make it look however you want. And then I'm going to add below that next set of content. And this could be, you know, any number of things where it could be these next 5 rows, right? And that's one way that you can set it up. I've also thought about potentially setting it up where using different buttons here, or you can do even add stuff here. Right, so when they go here, I'm gonna make this a landing page because I don't want any of the other stuff up there, just so it looks better. Let's see here, save. There we go. So this would be the free content and then members only content, and then they'd have to click on it as they go. The other way that you can do this is if you saw our blog, one thing I haven't seen a lot of people using this, but for the membership site especially, let's see here, I believe this one, let's see here, attendance check-in report and more, lead follow-up, attendance. Nope, that's not what I wanted. We push out so many updates. Right here. So I'll post this link in the file that I put in the with the recording, but login content page, right? So the other way that you can try to monetize this based upon like a level or a scheme, so you can have free content, general member content, and then VIP content, for example. What typically happens if you are, I'm going to go to Brickhouse, I'm going to go back, I'm going to log out, and then try to click on this. It usually just pops up this screen, right? And if I was somebody trying to buy something or trying to figure out what's going on the back end, this is kind of just a dead spot. I don't know where to go after this. I may fall off, I may lose interest. But with this update that we came out with this login page content, you can actually add a custom or a basic content box at the top of it, right? So this basic content box could be something that, let's say, for example, I'm just going to add one here. This could be, you know, a member. Click here to see membership options. And then add this. I highly recommend, I would put this in there regardless, because if, whether you use this for the membership sites or not, you can definitely want to get people to sign up because they may click on members only access or like log into their account. You can do it that way, right? You can add any links or anything that you want within that, or pictures. For example, I think I've got one in here. Oh, yep, sign up. I'm going to be a responsive center. Perfect. And then link that to either a sign up or a page that has all your membership options. Right. So for example, this is what would pop up in that login block at the top. And if they click on it, it takes me to my membership options, and they can sign up however they want, right? So yeah, coming back to that, there would be a way to kind of monetize this or flow with it. The other thought process that potentially that you could do is, instead of having, you know, free content up here, then general member content down here, and then VIP member content down here, flip the script. It's kind of like, why do they put milk in the very back of the grocery store, right? Because they want you to walk the thing that you normally get all the time. You got to walk through a whole bunch of stuff. You could also think about that on your membership site, right? Put your VIP content at the top. A, you're taking care of your VIP clients first, but B, the free people have to scroll through all that content to get to their stuff, right? So especially if they're looking at it on a mobile phone, right? If they've got to go, oh, this is VIP content, and I click on it, oh, I want that, and it asks me to sign up, then I'm not going to do it. But if I got to scroll down to actually get to the free content, you know, it's more likely that they're going to click on it to potentially sell something. But you also may have less usage, so it just depends on your philosophy and what you're thinking. Any questions, guys, so far? Or have you tried to do something different, or would like to try to do something different, or have seen somebody do something different that you have questions on how to build it?
Yeah, actually, I have mine set up a little bit different in aspects of, like, let's say on-demand content, right? There'll be a specific program or whatever, and like, let's say there's 40 videos, right, for whatever program or whatnot. Like, I've broken it down into different memberships where maybe I'll give away like 2 videos for free based on like a, you know, whatever.
Yep.
And then like a 7-day pass can come in, and we'll give them access to the whole thing for only days. But like, let's say I have a 3 days a week program or membership, like they're going to get, let's say they're going to get, instead of getting all 40 videos, I'll give them access to like, I don't know, 6 or 8 or 10 or something like that.
Okay.
The next membership up is going to get gated into more. So what I've done is kind of gated videos out to that program, to where my unlimited digital content, unlimited membership at the facility or whatnot, they're going to get everything.
Okay.
It's gated down all the way down the line. I've kind of done that with most of it. That way
do you care if I log in and show people that?
Yeah, go ahead. I don't have everything in there yet, but yeah.
Oh, that's okay.
Yeah.
And I mean, I can even kind of give you some ideas. What did you name the page?
It's just, and it's not, it's live. So you have to go through the pages to find it. You're not going to find it unless you go through, you know, your edit web pages. It should be set up as go to, I think it's membership dashboard.
Okay.
You go there first. It'll show you some stuff. And you know how it is. It's a constant.
Oh, member dashboard. There we go.
It's a constant work in progress, but
yeah.
It's all live. So if you go to the preview of it, you can actually navigate through it.
There we go.
So
is this it?
Yeah. So the first, like, I haven't changed the pictures for the on-demand or the coaches kits, but if you click on the on-demand training, so if you view that now, it's going to bring up another dashboard that has a bunch of different stuff, right?
Yeah, so you took this a step further and kind of broke it down into folders, essentially, of different types of workouts.
But there's also like some of that is broken apart from specific programs as well.
Okay.
So I just kind of try to utilize everything that I had. So like if you just click on AMRAPs, yeah, like right now I think there's only however many of those are now.
Yep.
And those are just those aren't even all uploaded yet. Those are just like placeholders. But if
Yep.
you go back over to like kettlebell workouts, like I think I only have 6 in there at the moment. Okay.
Okay.
Got like 60 videos to upload still. Well, to link in and build out. But what gives you the idea is I did kind of like Brickhouse did, and they have the video there,
Yep.
right? Also the other workout. But like, so as an example, what I did was I'm gating it to where per membership, you're going to get like 3 of those videos, or 6 of the first videos are going to be open to basically everybody that has a membership. Now, I also made it to where if you don't have a membership, I allowed like anybody visiting and trying to like look at what I've got going on, I've allowed them to open up and look at the on-demand content as far as like what's available, but they can't access any of it. Does that make sense?
Yep. And guys, everybody that's on the call, what he's talking about there is on each one of these web pages, you can lock it down based upon anyone. So anybody that has the link can get access to it. You can lock it down based upon an access code. Any logged in user, so they don't have to have a membership, they just have to have an active account. Any membership, and what he's talking about there is restricting it, right? So some of those pages, he set it up for public for anyone, but then the pages, like for example, like these first 3 may be allowed, all of them, right? It could be every one of these memberships, right? But then when they go to click on these pages, right? So if I clicked on this and I didn't have the membership, so maybe he took out free membership and a cheap membership, right? But everybody else can have access to it. And that's when that login screen would pop up and say, hey, you don't have access to it. And that's where the this comes in to play if you really want to monetize it or ascend that member into a different membership type.
Correct.
I like it. Takes a lot more work, but once it's built, it's an asset that you can give to anybody at any given time, and you can potentially, monetize it down the road, or God forbid we get shut down again. If you have your members and you get shut down, you're like, hey, I'm going to give you these workouts. I'm going to give you meal plans all through the app, but I'm also going to give you this huge library of workouts and additional content that you can pull from at any given time. They're less likely to get it from somebody else, and they might as well just keep going with the programming that you have.
Yeah, my thought process to like allowing someone that doesn't have a membership to actually, first they can see the dashboard, right? But they can, and some of those downloads, those are basic, they're all like the 4-week program, what should I eat, that stuff, it's anybody can download that. That's free content.
Nice.
Okay. But I gated, so anyway, I made it to where like when someone clicks on like the on-demand content and it opens up, I wanted the, like so I'm thinking of it as a consumer myself. If I click on that and it says, you don't have a membership, I'm like, I'm out then. I'm not going to waste my time necessarily. But if I can open that up and I can see 6, 9, 12, 24 different options of content or more, I'm like, oh, wow, there's a lot of stuff here. This is kind of cool. Maybe I can click on every single one of them and I get one free video, right? Or something,
Yep.
In my opinion, as a consumer myself, that would want to entice me to research further or contact and try to set something up. It's at this day and age, you want to keep their attention as long as you possibly can.
Yeah, I agree. I like it. You're doing a good job, man.
So much work. Because, it's just a subset of everything. It's just another subset. So if you scroll down, what I did was 2 things. I added some stuff like that macro recipe book that we get for, obviously we all have. I gated that to where you have to have, I have to have your content. So you have to be logged in to get it. You don't have to have a membership, but you have to be logged in to get it.
Okay.
I added some testimonial videos. The how-tos, that's just stuff like you showed on the other where like some people are walking through how to like set their app up. I centralized all that kind of stuff that I already sent out. I put it there, which is all, basic stuff. And I just didn't have I didn't put the verbiage in there yet, but how to
Yeah,
access your program and just things like that.
love it.
Um, the other thing is the
So
two things.
you're not only using this to house workouts and everything else, but this is also kind of the true client dashboard where frequently asked questions or things that they need. And if you do it that way, it'd be really easy to kind of link in email drips and text drips, link
Right.
pages to it. So it's easy to get to, but then also once they're there and you get the user used to it,
Right.
then you can start adding more and more to it, or down the road monetize it for additional stuff.
Exactly. So I want to use it as kind of like a members hub instead of them going to their just the back end of their own side
Yep.
of the profile. This is going to be a little more useful, hopefully, as far as driving them into different content areas. So the two things that I talked about on our group page, was the how to do the content without video, basically. Like, and you and I talked about it a little bit. Do you just give them a download link and sell them basically written programming? So I'm actually going to kind of do it two ways. So what I thought of if you scroll down, you see there's two on either side of the macro recipe. We've got advanced programming. Like I think actually Felix might have even said to use that actually, and it's not in there yet. I just kind of stuck things in there, and those are going to be built out as web pages, basically the same way. They're like the 12-week, it'll have maybe 2 weeks per page or 1 week per page written out. Obviously, somebody could just copy and paste and probably steal it if they really wanted to, but they got to pay for it anyway. So what? But I'm going to keep it that way, gated. And then the other a la carte is basically going to be, you could purchase that program on its own as a standalone, any different programs as a standalone, and download them.
Nice.
That's how I'm gonna run that, and I probably will add some a la carte options that are video based as well, follow along type stuff as well, and it'll just gate them over into the different link, and then they go from there. So
nice. Yeah, I guess if you're doing it that way too, and building out those pages, when somebody signs up for like a 12-week program, for example,
I can
yeah, you could just be like, all right, in the drip campaign, every 7 days, they get a link to that week's page. So that way they have access to it, they can go to it. But if they can't start on Monday, even though that's when they're getting it, they can basically start whenever they want, because all they got to do is go to the appropriate week and the appropriate workout for that day.
Yeah, and the other thought process behind that too is, whether it's every 7 days, 5 days, 3 days, 20 days, whatever it may be, they're going to get like a check-in email, how's it going? How's the program doing? And it just kind of keeps that little bit of a personal touch there that they're not necessarily expecting to get.
Yep.
And hopefully we can drive them into getting another program down the way as well.
Yeah, I like it. That's pretty cool.
It's getting there.
Yeah, and everybody on the call here, the one thing I recommended to Jeff, and I'll recommend to everybody, and knowing how Jeff's brain kind of works, it's really easy when you start building this stuff out to put all of your ideas and kind of start it. But if you do that and you want to launch this sooner so you can start getting some usage out of it, start building it out, but then don't be afraid to put, let's see here, which one is it? I got too many tabs pulled up. Where just literally put coming soon, right? On each one of those things if it's not built out. So like, Awaken can start using this now, and somebody can be like, "Ooh, I want this Awaken on demand." But it's coming soon. So when they click on it, they're not surprised that they're doing this, right? And then just start building that out, because this is the front end part of all of this content, right? So if this was all just coming soon content, you can build all this stuff out on the back end, and then once it's built, just link it to the front end page. So you don't have to start here. You can build the entire, going back to your advanced programming, right? You could build out this entire 12-week barbell strength on the back end, and then at the very end of it, just link to this particular page or this particular button,
right,
and then just keep adding to it. But no, this is awesome. The other cool thing about this is if you do this for marketing or like a quick video and just talking about what they're going to get in the video and kind of just scrolling through this, or just strictly strolling through this as a quick recording, be like, oh man, I get all that stuff too. Just kind of separating yourself from the pack, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, definitely. I will tell you a piece of advice, and this is taken one step further from the advice that Josh gave me, and that is that it's very, very easy to think you're going to do things one way and start going ballistic and building out, and then like, oh shit, wait a second, now I have to go back and redo a ton of stuff, and I almost had that happen. Man, Josh warned me about that. Which is a good thing that he did, because I had to step back. And what happened, and what I mean by that is, if you're going to do it the way I've laid it out, you really have to think forward in what you're going to add a little bit of stuff. And then if you're going to build out the pages the way I've done it, make sure you're thinking about what memberships are going to access what, or how you're going to gate that, whether it's paid for or not paid for, or whoever gets what content access. Because otherwise, if you don't do that and you just build everything out and it's just open to the public at the time, or it's whatever, you're going to have to go back to every single page and allocate who goes to what and how they're going to get that. So what I did myself was, I had this stupid like notebook here that is just, I actually kind of almost storyboarded it out.
Yep.
After I started getting stressed, and I was like, okay, this is a problem. And I talked to Josh a little bit about it, just text back and forth. And that's when I kind of said, okay, I pulled back, storyboarded it out real quick for about an hour. And then now it's golden. We're good to go. I know exactly where I'm going to go, how I can build it all out. There's no question. If I get a little confused or whatnot, I can look back at those notes and I know. But if I didn't do that, I probably would have costed myself 5 times or more of the time that I already did. And I've already put in a ridiculous amount of time. So
yeah, I agree. It looks like you're doing a great job. One thing I will say, and this is just a general note, as you start to build these pages out that have and this goes for everybody, that has a tremendous amount of content and pictures and videos and all kinds of buttons and stuff like that. What I will say is, when you click save, just be patient and wait until all of this reloads and you get this little green pop-up that says save page. Because what happens is, as the page gets larger, every time you save it, what happens is it makes a file and it sends it over to the Amazon servers, saves it, and then uploads it to the internet, and however that works, right? If I hit save and get out of it too quickly and it's still sending that file, it may cut that file off in half, and only half of your work will get sent, and the rest of it will look blank potentially, which means half of it will be gone. So that's the one thing I can tell you about building the websites and everything else. Just be patient. We think that happened to somebody because they did something really simple on a page that was really long. For example, they just did something like that, saved, and then closed. And before it actually saved, it only sent over a blank page, right? So they had to go back and redo some stuff. So just give it time, let it save, and then go from there. Any other questions? Michael, Felix, Bo, Frazier?
No questions. Give me a whole bunch of great ideas to run with.
Did you get a chance to watch the first video?
I did not, but I'm going to do that later today.
Oh, yeah. So a lot of the stuff that we went over today will make a lot more sense when you watch that video.
Okay.
Yeah, because I took a little bit more time kind of showing the sections and how to manipulate that and how to make it look good on that end.
All right. I will definitely watch that.
Yeah, tons of great ideas. Felix, any questions, brother?
No, just wanted to see what the breakout was going to be, and I actually so when it I do have one question. When it's supposed to mobile optimized, I notice that sometimes when I put a photo or some text, it doesn't optimize that, meaning that, you know, it'll show, like when you showed a video, it showed the T and the O for store as opposed to the whole store. So in regards when that happens on the mobile view, how do we address that? Is there a specific that shows like what the image size would be so we can adjust it in Canva?
Where did the,
There's some
do you remember what page I was showing?
whatever one has store.
Oh, that might have been the member demo. Oh, this thing. So this is a this right here would have to just be adjusted for, because that's a little bit different than the web pages. That particular page is,
That's on the mobile app, yeah.
yeah, on the mobile app. So in Canva, you can change and adjust those sizes to make that look a little bit better. That was actually a really quick demo that I was trying to knock out for somebody, and I didn't size it correctly.
Are the sizes per let's say for like the web, specific for the web app, the icon sizes, are there anywhere on the blog as far as like what the sizes should be?
No, so I can give you a recommendation on that. So what I did is every time that, I'm not very good at Canva, but Canva makes it a lot easier. I'm old school and use Publisher. I know it shows how old I am, but so let's say, for example, I set an image. Let's go pictures, insert picture, and downloads. Let's go here. All right. So I play around with the size of it, and everybody's got a slightly different size. So like this dashboard is going to be different from the pictures that I showed you here, and it's going to be different from this, right? But each one of those, depending on the size, will increase or decrease. And I've never seen it so much like decrease the, I guess, horizontal. It's more the vertical and how it gets distorted. So whatever you do pick, and you obviously can do this in Canva, but like if I wanted to make sure it was the same size and that it automatically gets corrected, I just change the picture in that same size. You know, I'll just go here. And then that way I know that when I insert this picture, it's going to be the same kind of flow across, right?
Yeah.
Now, depending on the distortion, what I think is happening. So with most sections, page, just add another page. If you're using a basic content block, see if this is where it does it. I'll just use this one. Oh, right here. What you want to do is make it responsive or responsive center. So responsive will make that picture inside of this basic content block responsive to whatever screen is there, right? Responsive center will just always center it to whatever screen that it's going for. Now, if you're using like this block, which is the icon block, most of these things, right, we automatically have it responsive. It's just this basic content we don't. On that, I have also noticed that on the mobile version, the only thing I would stay away from is try not to use heading 1 if you're using a longer sentence. So this is really cool until mobile.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And then what that typically, let's see if that's long enough. Oh, it's not long enough, but a lot of times that will kind of stack on top of each other or not look right. So I always, when I'm thinking that it's going to mainly be a mobile thing, I always try to stay with heading 2 or 3, just to make sure it's formatted, especially in emails as well. Now the video, when you add this video section, there's a couple of things here since you asked about the video part of it. This video block, this one right here, when you go to watch it, it allows this where it goes to the full screen. But if you try to add, oh, hang on here. No, not that one. This one doesn't allow the block. Yeah, it doesn't allow to go full screen, right? Full screen is unavailable. But if you add to the basic content, Jeff, I don't know if this is what you used or not. Let's see here. Oh, what am I doing here? Invalid. Oh, I still got the mobile thing on. There we go. We'll just go here.
And so you took that whole code. You didn't just do the partial part of the embed code.
So it depends on which block you use. So
Gotcha.
like embedding it in the basic content, it allows people to increase it, right?
Yeah.
Or make it a large size.
Yeah.
Got it.
And then those 2 blocks, right, should automatically mobile optimize. See how that one goes full screen, but then this one goes, you know, the way it's generally added, it automatically is responsive because you can't increase it or decrease the size. It's the one size.
Right.
And then to answer your question there, Jeff, yeah, so when you embed it in the basic content, you can embed the whole code.
Gotcha.
When you embed it in certain other places, you have to use the actual embed code.
Right.
Right. So like this has to be the embed part.
Yeah.
There is a rhyme or reason for that, but I'm not sure what it is.
Yeah, it won't work if you try to put the whole code in there.
Correct. Yeah. It's just something to do with the block itself.
Right. Just the way it's coded. Yeah.
Yep. But that, so depending on what you want the member to be able to do, if you want them to be able to increase it, just add it to the basic block. Or like you could use this same basic block. Right. I'm a big fan of using blocks for the majority of everything here. Right.
Yep.
And then you can also, depending on what you want it to look like,
Yeah.
And then so the other thing is, depending on how you're looking at it on the mobile, this should optimize if I was actually on a mobile device. I think it still thinks I'm on a normal screen here.
Yeah.
Wonder if I can add this to. Oh, I can't redo a preview. Let's just see what it looks like. Let me make sure it does it. I don't want Felix to do something and then it be wrong here. I'm going to test it on my phone as well. So doing it that way, why did it was good without the edits in there, but now when you add the content, it didn't make this responsive. Did I do something? No. Constrain proportions. Because one thing you can do is adjust it here to mobile optimize it to what you want. But why didn't it do it before?
The other content. that
Oh,
you-
there it went. Okay. So if you add, maybe it didn't do that last time. So when you add this video, I unclick this, and that must kind of be like the responsive for a picture, because now when I'm checking it on my, I wonder if it'll do it on the preview. Yeah, there we go. And it optimized it.
Yep. Nice.
So good call, Felix, on asking that question. So if you add the video in this basic context, just make sure that you click on that constrained proportions and hit set. And then it should be good to go.
All right, cool.
Bo doesn't have any questions. Felix, have you started building one of these out?
I attempted to, and then I got frustrated and said, "Fuck it."
So
You know, I'm more, like I'm not having problems with closures, so I'm not worried about it. Like I haven't had to close, and so and Fresno has been freaking liberal as fuck when it comes to all this crazy stuff. So it's, we kind of kept under the radar. So like, even if we close again, I'm just gonna keep going as normal. But I do want to get, something like this created. I guess I know how to use, onboard me so well that when I come and try to do it here, it just frustrates me because it's not as simple as OM. So I just kind of say, ask for it. But it's, I have a 16-week program that I want to finalize and create that's high ticket, that's, very militant, but with life coaching principles, right? So
yep.
Specifically men that, have either cheated on their wives or think they got their shit together, pretty much liars that are not willing to admit it because, they're worried about whatever. So I want to incorporate that with fitness, and I want to build that out using this, because the journaling, context and the homework that they got to do, I want to be able for it to drip, into them creating it and doing it at home, and then all the physical activity is done internal. So I'm just not really quite sure how to approach that. but this kind of gave me an idea.
Yeah, I think with your particular scenario there, instead of creating kind of take the little bit of the frustration out, right? Maybe instead of creating a full blown like dashboard like this, where there's a bunch of branches, maybe go directly into like this kind of format, right? Getting started, and then week 1, week 2, week 3 kind of thing. And then kind of start there. And then once that's completely built out and rolling, and you like the format of it and you like what you're doing, then go back in and, okay, well, where do I house this program, right? And then that's where you can create that dashboard and be like, all right, well, my first block is this program. Well, all right, now what program am I going to do next, right? After that 16 weeks, do they go into a 90-day thing or a monthly thing or whatever that looks like? And then be like, all right, I'm going to build that out completely. Once it's up and running and good to go, I'm going to just attach it to the front end dashboard so people can see it. That way it's not like Jeff, where Jeff figured it out, but it's not all over the place.
Yeah, I even considered doing it under the WOD feature, since there's multiple calendars, I guess, that can be created.
Yep.
Where it just, because every day it just posts a new workout or new, let's say, just content, and it uses that text feature. So I was going to play around and see, because I wanted to every single day they're going to get something to do, or every 3 days, or every whatever. And the WOD feature on the calendar allows you to essentially kind of do that with the calendar. So if you click on that, let's say click on the boot camp or Metcon. So day 1 on Thursday has some specific content they got to do, and then day 3 and day 4. So that way on those days in that month, it pops up as needed.
Yep. So something that will help you long-term too, depending on what it is, right? And how you start the programs. For example, if you start these programs all together at one time, using the post the workout feature would work just fine, right? Because you can really manage, like if they're all starting on, for example, if they're all starting on the 20th, you can, or the 19th, you can go ahead and build all of that out going forward. But then, and I guess if you want to redo it, you can do this copy WODs feature. So like if the first 16 weeks of people go through and you just want to reproduce that 16 weeks, you could just go back and copy that 16 weeks and then push it to the front, right? And with high ticket like you're selling, that would probably be worth it. Now, long term, the one thing that's on the development that we're internally talking about is being able to do 2 things with hyperlinks. So we want to be able to, I'll just open up another one. We want to be able to have the ability to add hyperlinks to the announcement section. So that way, if you want to hyperlink it out to a client dashboard or a retail sales page or something like that, or anything, you can just put it in the announcement section. But then also what we are internally talking about within the program section, whenever you create a notes section, so let's just say, this is notes, we want this to be kind of a basic content block where you can add a link here. So in Felix, in your kind of programming there, you can, for example, when they sign up and enroll in the program, so that's when they start their program, and you can have people start at any given time, really. Well, you could link, at day 1, click this, and that links to, the walkthrough or whatever it is, right? And then they do their workouts because they'll show up in the programming. They do their workout, cool, and then the next day they log in, they see the next day's workout. But then you can add a link to that to link it out to wherever you want to go. So long term, you could also do it here. That way, once it's built, people could essentially purchase and start at any given time, and you don't have to rebuild it. if that makes sense too.
Yeah.
But yeah, with your high ticket stuff, I think once you build it out and start everybody at the same time, just remembering that you can just copy and paste to a future start date. So that way you don't have to rebuild it, would be huge for you.
Okay.
Because you can obviously in these content blocks, link anything that you want, add anything that you want. I mean, this is, pretty robust on what you can do, and make it look obviously like this. Now, the only other thing to that, depending on how you want to lock it down, just an FYI, if you use the WOD section, anybody that has access to this app will be able to see that calendar, right? So if there's certain people that you don't want to have access to it, that'd be a little bit more difficult. Long term, if you use the
So if you create multiple calendars, everyone has access to every calendar you create.
as of right now, yeah.
Yeah.
I know people have been asking about locking that down too.
I only have one calendar, but I didn't know that was the case. In that case, no, I won't be using that then.
Yeah, that is on the board as well. Kind of like how programs, you can attach the program to a specific membership. People have been asking to be able to do that same thing for the calendar, right? Because some people don't like using the program section because they're just not that detailed oriented and kind of building it all out, and they like to be able to just copy and paste it here. But they want to lock it down like online only gets this calendar, and then online
individual client, like, so I got a remote client who just who just hates using the program feature because he just wants to be told what to do.
Right.
So I considered just transferring his program, and it's in remote unless I'm training him one-on-one style. It's $350 a month, just like it is in my studio. So, he's like, well, I was like, well, bro, that's not what you're paying for. So I had this massive argument with him. But in the end, I was like, fuck, I'll just create a calendar on the WOD.
Yep.
Assign it to him specifically, and he'll just get text every day of shit he's supposed to do, and then go from there. But I didn't start that process yet because I was going to follow up with him today. But assuming that a calendar could be assigned to an individuals.
Yeah, I'm glad we brought that up then. Right now, it is kind of a holistic thing with the WOD calendar. But I will actually add that to our development conversation for Monday, because you're not the only one that's asked for that. Multiple people have asked for it.
That'd be a great feature. Well, because the calendar allows you to essentially drip, like the drip, you can create a form and do a drip, but then again, you can't really dictate how that drip flows. So like, as far as like a mobile responsive workout, it goes to an email. And that's another issue going on is, folks don't want to check their emails. So, but on the WOD feature on the app, if it could somehow be dripped and personalized to where the drip goes, yeah, that'd be dope.
Yeah, because this right here, you could just copy and paste a program that you've written somewhere without having to add it and do all the other stuff to it. And I don't think there's a limit on how many calendars that you can have. Yeah, you can probably have as many calendars as you possibly could want.
Yeah. Hey, Josh, a question. Do you know if there's a limit, like in your client's membership profile, or just in their profile period, and there's the notes section, right?
Yeah.
Is there a limit to how long the notes are, or how much note content there is?
I don't think so.
Because that's an option I've thought about as well, with like in the same type of situation where I love to do it like Felix is saying, and do it as a calendar, as a WOD calendar for that individual or whatnot. But the same problem, it's open to everybody, right? So why couldn't I actually put their directive in their notes and have them ping them and have them look at their notes for their content?
There's no communication. So the other thing is they don't get notified, right? If you put something in there.
Yeah, it's manual on our side.
So this note section is internal.
Right. So they couldn't see that side then?
No, they wouldn't be able to see this side.
That's the only thing then.
But
And-
what about getting into the notes feature of the actual client, or creating a note that could be pushed out to all their notes sections in the app? The
Yeah.
biggest thing, the biggest thing the biggest disconnect that I see with the Hive right now is specific communication to the client. Like, I want to be able to talk to a client right now. PT Distinction, Trainerize, they do that shit very, very effectively, which is really like the best feature with them. The workout stuff sucks, but their ability to communicate now and guide them on a client journey through the mobile is where it's at. And you could do stuff on the desktop, but ain't nobody messing with the desktop.
But
So
Felix, when you assign that member as you're their coach, can't we communicate with them through that way?
on the chat, yes, but that's another thing, is being able to have all my coaches, because I don't assign clients, right? All my clients get trained by everybody.
Me too. That's
So,
my problem.
but I have everybody assigned to me. So right now I track the communication personally, because I just do it. But if there'd be a way where we can, let's say I wanted to send Josh a message on his profile, right, under notes or whatever, not chat, but on the notes, where it can be, because then it'd be kind of double feature, where he'll get notified that I actually sent him that message.
Yeah. And that's what I was thinking is,
And it may spit out an email. I haven't checked that, but if it spits out the email, then that would take away from the mobile concept, right?
So there's a couple of things that we've thought about, right? So just so you guys know, whether you want to know or not, but the reason why we went with a mobile web app opposed to a downloadable app is that allowed us to give everybody a custom app with your pictures, your logos, and everything else like that on there, without having to pay a ton of money to put it on the App Store to make it downloadable. And there's a lot of rhyme or reason or restrictions on the same app being branded multiple ways. Otherwise it would, I think MindBody charges an extra $250 a month just for the app, right? So we decided not to do it that way. We decided to do it this way. But the problem with that is Apple specifically does not allow push notifications for a mobile web app, no matter what, right? So that's where the disconnect of kind of alerting people when stuff happens. But here's, I brought this up about a week ago, kind of a thought process. Let's just say, and you guys can tell me if this would potentially work or not. I personally think people will log into this app for two main reasons, right? The first reason is to schedule their class or their personal training session or whatever, right? And then the next one is to see their program, or at the very least, see their workout, right? I think that's the two main things that people use the app for anyway, right?
Imagine, yes, that's what they mostly use it for.
Yep.
So, but the problem is if you send them a instructor chat, they're not going to think, oh, well, did Felix send me something? Oh, where's this? Oh, there it is, instructor app. Oh, yeah, he did send me something, right? They're not going to do that.
No.
But here was my same thing with the community, right? The problem with the community board right now, wherever it's at, is nobody knows if they've posted something or responded something back, right?
Yep. So
here's my thought, because we can basically do anything inside the app that we want for the most part. So my thought is above announcements, put like a notifications bar. So like iPhone notification. Let me see if I can find an image of it. Everybody knows what it is if I can't, but we'll just say like that, right? So something like that.
yeah.
But then at the top, when they log in, above announcements, it'll say 3 new posts in community, click here. 2 new instructor messages, click here. And then kind of give a list of notifications that they can either X out of or click on and immediately go to inside the app.
So like a manual push notification.
Yes, but only inside the app. So the key to it is, the thought process in my head is if I'm looking at the app anyway, daily for the workout, right? If I'm going there every day to look at the workout, well, that means I'm at least opening it up
Yep.
once a day or every other day, right? So inside the app, it would have just notifications saying, hey, this is what you're missing and this is what you need to check on. And then they can either X out of it or they can click on it. You know, if it was like instructor chat, your instructor sent you 2 messages. They click on it and then immediately pulls up this with the things on it.
Yeah, that would be a start. And then also notifying the instructor that a reply was done. Because the reason why people don't, in my facility, I'll just speak, the reason why nobody uses instructor chat is because everybody texts my cell phone. So I want to stop that. And
Yep.
and then I could, you know, they could send me a message on the Hive, but the problem is that it takes me too damn long for me to get to it. Like I want to reduce time, not increase time.
Yep.
And then there's notifications, you know, really like unless I get an email or text, which I don't know if I can even get a text saying that somebody sent me a message because I haven't checked. Then I go in, I'm like, oh shit, somebody sent me a message. So I check it every day manually. But it's not streamlined, right? So if we're gonna get into the mobile online space, like the faster the communication is streamlined, the more profitable that person's gonna be.
Yep.
Because people leave and quit because they're not getting.
So I hate to cut you off. I just realized that
I know you gotta go.
how late we've gotten, and I gotta
Yeah,
pick
yeah.
up my son from school. But if you need anything, let me know, and we'll get more into this chat part soon.
Okay, for sure.
All right, see you guys.
All right.